Whoa! That was a big surprise. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is for a film that is technically supposed to come out this weekend, but I was able to see early at a little fan event screening, and that film was going to be for none other than, of course, a sequel that was supposed to come out in 2020 but got delayed for 2 whole years. And it took about 36 years to make and release. Released a little too late. It was a sequel to a film released in 1986 starring Tom Cruise, known as one of his most iconic films, and that film is none other than Top Gun Maverick, a film that got delayed all the way here because, here's the catch, guys. Tom Cruise refused to ever let this movie come to streaming. He wanted this movie to stay strictly in theaters, and I can totally see why after watching it. But that sequel is Top Gun Maverick. So I actually saw it at a little fan event screening yesterday, because I wanted to be one of the first few people to see it. But what's the plot of this movie? Well, after more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courteous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. Yeah, so how was the movie made? Well, development of the film began in 2010 when Paramount Pictures made offers to Jerry Bruckheimer and Tony Scott to make a sequel to Top Gun, with Tom Cruise reprising his role. When asked about his idea for a new Top Gun film, Scott replied that the world fascinated him because it'd be so different from what it was originally, but he didn't want to do a remake, he didn't want it to be a reinvention, he wanted to do a new movie. The film would reportedly focus on the end of the dogfighting era, and the role of drones in modern aerial warfare, and that Cruise's character Maverick would fly an F-8/A-18 Super on it. After Scott's suicide in 2012, the sequel's future remained in question, but producer Jerry Bruckheimer remained committed to the project, especially given Cruise and Kilmer's interest. But then eventually, we all know how it happened. Like, Val Kilmer got throat cancer and stuff and hasn't really acted in much film since. Then around June 2017, Cruise revealed that the sequel would be titled Top Gun Maverick. As he did not need a number of all sequel titles, he even added the film would be a competition film similar to the first one, but even clarified it as a progression for Maverick. Around July 2017, Joseph Kosinski was announced as the director, after previously collaborating with Cruise on the 2013 film Oblivion. And then around June 2019, at Cine Europe in Barcelona, attendees were able to watch for the first time some early footage of the film from a special Paramount presentation. During the presentation, the president of International Theatrical Distribution, Mark Van, and co-producer of Worldwide Marketing and Distribution, Mary Daly, appeared in fight clothes as part of a promotion. So when it came to finishing the film and releasing the movie, Paramount was originally going to release the movie on July 12, 2019, but was delayed to June 2020 in order to suit several complex action sequences, and then around March 2020, Paramount moved the film up 2 days early on June 24th, 2020, but then was moved to December 23rd for, well, we know, and I don't want to talk about why it was delayed anymore. We know why it was delayed, and I'm sick of talking about why. After suffering several delays all the way, the film finally found a release date on May 27, 2022, which is tomorrow, and the film has received widespread praise from critics, with many deeming it superior to the original film. Now you're wondering, why is this review early? The movie's not out yet. Well, like I said, I went to an advanced screening last night, as I was able to see the film 2 days early before it came out. And what did I think of this movie? Well, for someone who thinks Top Gun is An okay movie, not a masterpiece, not something I'll revisit often, but it's still decent, alright. With this movie, I have to agree with everybody praising it. I think this is easily up there with Blade Runner 2049 in terms of good sequels that released over decades too late after their predecessors. Like, really, it's amazing how something so good and looked forward to was above expectation. Amazing set designs, incredible character building, action sequences that are perfectly choreographed. This is one of, if not most ambitious films with a flawed less execution. The fact that the director's vision is so blended with Tom Cruise and other actors is very effective on the traceability of the film. I remember not being very excited for this movie because, like I said, Top Gun I just think is an okay movie, but Top Gun Maverick was awesome. The last 40 minutes are pure cinema. Planes flying, falling, exploding on a cauldron of emotions. The movie just makes an analogy to Tom Cruise's vision of traditional cinema. He promotes the idea that every movie should be watched in big screen, and it can't be substituted by the streaming. And we can assimilate the drones with the streaming and the planes piloted by humans with the traditional cinema, and I really like that. I really like that Tom Cruise was very defensive of this project, made sure it never went to streaming sites, because this movie is made for theaters. Purely made for theaters. Only. The movie bets on the charisma and talent of its cast too, and well, it worked. Like, the whole cast is very good. Tom Cruise is always doing it best. Yes, as well. And you like some of all the other actors' performances too. The action scenes are even well filmed and choreographed. It's all practical effects and increases immersion in action scenes. The sound work here is so good too, and it is one of the reasons to watch this movie at the theaters. And I hope Top Gun Maverick will be recognized in award season, especially the technical categories. Like, this movie gives you what you want. Another Top Gun movie, and it totally delivers. Like, the film follows the same formula and general flow of the first, and does its credit. They didn't try to just reimagine or reinvent or freshen and political lies any other such shenanigans that we've seen in other late-coming sequels of recent past. Like Blade Runner 2049, this continued from where that first movie ended, and it stayed like the tone of the first movie. No politics, no woke crap, none of that. No. They actually acted like an actual sequel movie for a change. Aerospace geeks will easily balk at some of the physics involved in the movie. Like, no spoilers, but the movie does start off doing a few things that no one would really try to get away with in a cartoon, but it looks really great on screen, so they can just go with it. Like, there's appropriate fan service rendered throughout the film without it coming off as a nostalgic piece, and it's well balanced. Like, the way this movie was filmed is also an amazing comeback to real honest-to-God, good old times, true, not only CGI and green screens. The main actors were in actual, real, honest-to-God flying fighter jets, and with real action that was truly happening to them and flying. The way, like, they were able to bring us a lot of similar shots and scenes of the first movie was beautifully done without making it corny like some movies end up usually doing. It has just enough to be amazing. The actors did a great job here. The scenery is beautiful. The cinematography is amazing. The action's at its best. And music just the way you need and want it. The finale... When it comes to the finale, like, had me swearing my seat flying a lot of times, every twist and turn, like, clenched, excited, riveted, and scared. Like, it's almost like... You know that franchise Mission Impossible? It's pretty much like that first Top Gun film meets the Mission Impossible franchise. We also, of course, get an obligatory Tom Cruise running scene. And also, the movie doesn't even repeat the story of the first one. It continues into something else like sequels should be trying to do. It's entirely different and very familiar. Like, Maverick faces more challenges this time around on a personal level, and the love interest story is in keeping with a character his age who's lived his life, and he's even more badass this time around. And with characters like Rooster and Hangman, a kind of Iceman Maverick rolled into one, you get taken on his new journey for the movie, and for them, and for Maverick himself in the Last Chance Saloon. Like, it is kind of obvious it can't have the innocent 80s charm of the first one, because that era is gone, and making a retro movie would feel weird, but it's in its own era. It owns and embraces that, and makes the most of it too, with Tom Cruise and his mega productions to great effect. Like, no using the same shot repeatedly a la Top Gun. They've got a tone of flying and it's all concurrent. Now, is there cliches with this movie? Yeah, sure, alright, fine. But, like, this film does kind of have a bit of a predictable ending. Like, the movie's ending, they win. That's all I'm going to spoil. They basically win. There's not really a sequel set up. It's kind of expected in the end. Dialogue is kind of minimal, so kind of pay attention as physical actions, facial expressions carry much of the plot. Like, they even managed to kind of include a Star Wars factor into the action, and not an Oscar contender, but it doesn't make it a really bad film per se. I mean, and also some secondary characters weren't very well developed, and I think there's dramatic arcs that should have kind of had a better resolution to me, but they don't ruin the movie. The movie's still a phenomenal film. It's still one of my favorite sequels of 2022 so far. This movie was a pretty perfect way to start off the summer blockbuster season. It may not be no Oscar contender, but it's still a fun movie to watch more than once. So, despite the bad qualities I mentioned, Top Gun Maverick is easily one of the rare decades later sequels that really comes as close or even better than the first film since Blade Runner 2049. So my final recommendation, if you loved the first Top Gun movie, just wait till you see this. You're really going to love this even more than you the first one. So definitely go see this weekend, please, because this movie really deserves its support. It got delayed for 2 years. It really deserves to have support in the theaters. Anyway, that's it for my review of Top Gun Maverick, and if you're wondering how I'm going to rank this movie, here's how I am going to rank it. So overall, if you want to see what happened to Tom's character 30 years after that first air flight, then easily go see this in a theater and then buy it on Blu-ray for sure, because this is a sequel that will make you proud to start off the summer. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Top Gun 2, I'm going to give Top Gun 2 a 9 out of 10. There we go! That's it for my review of Top Gun Maverick. And this is not the only blockbuster that comes out this weekend. This weekend also sees the release of the Bob's Burgers movie that I also really want to see, because I'm also a Bob's Burgers fan, so I might get around to checking that movie out this weekend. So, we'll just have to see how it is. But, if you want to see a movie that's really good this weekend, please go see this. If you want a great start off to the summer 2022 blockbuster season. And until then, guys, that will be it for this review. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.